Donald Trump stormed onto the world stage promising to disrupt the status quo. His America First agenda sent shockwaves through the global trading system. Trump believed globalization had hollowed out American manufacturing and cost jobs. He vowed to renegotiate deals, erect tariff barriers, and restore American dominance. His weapon of choice, tariffs, taxes on imports to protect American industries and force better trade terms. The world watched as the U.S., a free trade champion, embraced economic nationalism. Allies and adversaries braced for the fallout as a trade war loomed. This wasn't just about trade deficits, it marked a shift in America's global role. Trump's actions rejected multilateralism, challenging the post-1-2 rules-based order. Would this approach make America great again or spark global economic uncertainty? The trade war began in early 2018, targeting solar panels and washing machines. By July, tariffs hit $250 billion worth of Chinese goods, igniting a tit-for-tat battle. Tariffs, initially 10%, later rose to 25%, impacting businesses reliant on Chinese imports. Consumers felt the pinch as prices for everyday goods climbed. The administration argued tariffs protected jobs and forced fairer trade practices. Critics countered that tariffs hurt American businesses and consumers more than they helped. Retaliatory tariffs from China and rising costs led to job losses in key industries. In 2025, tariffs expanded to nearly all imports, with some reaching 125%. A 20% tariff on fentanyl-related goods aimed to curb the opioid epidemic. The trade war's escalation left businesses and consumers grappling with uncertainty. The global response to Trump's trade policies was swift and fierce. China retaliated with tariffs on American soybeans, cars, and Hollywood movies, devastating U.S. farmers. The European Union imposed counter-tariffs on whiskey, motorcycles, and blue jeans. The EU also threatened levies on American tech giants, escalating tensions further. Canada, Mexico, and India joined in, implementing trade barriers of their own. The trade war strained relationships with allies and threatened decades of trade liberalization. International organizations criticized the policies, warning of slowed global growth. The IMF called for de-escalation, while the WTO faced a crisis of legitimacy. The U.S., a founding WTO member, undermined its authority, shaking the global trade system. The economic consequences of Trump's trade war were significant and far-reaching. American farmers, hit by Chinese tariffs on soybeans, faced devastating losses. Manufacturers and industries reliant on global supply chains struggled with rising costs. The automotive and construction sectors were particularly vulnerable to price surges. Despite the tariffs, the U.S. trade deficit with China increased in 2020. Consumers bore the brunt, paying more for goods like washing machines and cars. Globally, growth slowed as businesses faced uncertainty and disrupted supply chains. The IMF repeatedly downgraded global growth forecasts, citing trade tensions. Trump's trade war marked a turning point in the global trading system. It shifted focus from multilateralism to economic nationalism and bilateralism. Businesses began diversifying supply chains, reducing reliance on China. Some American companies reshored manufacturing, driven by rising Chinese labor costs and trade disruptions. The U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement modernized trade relations, boosting North American manufacturing. However, tariffs largely remained in place, signaling a lasting shift in U.S. trade policy. The global trading system has been irrevocably altered, with long-term consequences still unfolding.